friends, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode we are going to build and review another kit that my friends at Atlantis sent to the channel. Thank you very much, guys. Today we're building the Midget Racer in 1/20 scale. Now this is a very old kit that's been repopped several times. The original one was popped in 1954 and was originally a monogram model kit. But even though it's an old kit, I'm glad to see that Atlantis has repopped it again for 2023, and I'm looking forward to building it. Now, according to ScaleMate, somewhere in the 1950s, this was popped out and distributed through Kellogg's, which I'm assuming maybe it came in a cereal box. I'm not sure, that was a little before my time, but if you guys know if this kit was available in a cereal box or from Kellogg's, if you know anything about that, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to learn a little more about that. The last time this kit was popped was way back in 1999, again by Monogram, and that was the last year that Monogram rolled out this kit. So now with Atlantis rolling it out in 2023, this one's been off the shelves for a long time. Alright, let's take a look at the box. It's nice, it's not the original artwork. On the original artwork the car is red, but I really like this blue color. On the side we've got another picture of the actual model. It says driver included, removable hood, Offenhauser engine, updated water slide decals, yay, classic model kit made from the original mold. So this should be interesting. Got another picture on this side and some information about the sport of midget auto racing on the side here and some dimensions. And here's the other picture on the other side. All right. Let me clear off the bench and we'll cut into this thing. Okay, on the back of the box, I forgot to mention, there is some advertisement for a couple of other kits from Atlantis, the Moon Eyes Dragster and the Scorpion Gasser. These are also a couple of kits I really wouldn't mind to build and review on the channel as well. Okay, let's get on to what was in the box. All of the parts come in one plastic bag. And here we have the two-piece wheels and tires. Looks like the arm for our racing driver. We have the two halves of the main engine. Here we have the front grille, steering wheel, exhaust, some suspension parts, a dashboard with a little bit of detail on there. And looks like these are the metal parts that go around the frame and the body. Gonna need some cleanup on those, but it doesn't look too bad. Next we have our two pieces of the driver, and looks like the lower steering and rear axle for the front and the rear of the car, and the hood with some vents molded in. They are raised. A little bit of detail on the driver, but not super detailed. And then finally we have the two halves to the body. Actually some decent texturing and raised and recessed panel lines on there. So some nice texture around the what would be a material or a leather kind of material wrapped around the body there. Some more vents and some rivets that are raised. Alright, hopefully this will go together very nicely. And then in the box we also have just a clear piece of plastic, which will probably be what we'll use to make the windscreen on the front of the car. We have our instructions. All right, these instructions are it's on glossy paper, which is kind of nice. You've got a template here for your windshield, so you can cut that out. You've got kind of a completed photo here, and then kind of an exploded view of the assembly process, which on a kit like this is normal, especially a kit of this age. Got some suggested finishing colors about midget auto racing. And then we have the list of parts and the number of the part and what they are. On the back we have some paint schemes. This is really nice. Again, nice that they've done it in color. So we've got a red, looks like an off-white, a yellow, a blue, and a dark gray or black. Very nice. I think I'm going to do mine in a blue. And then we have the decals. So we've got couple sets of numbers in different colors, kind of a goldish yellow and a red, that's nice. And some Champion spark plugs and some other decals. They feel really nice and they look like they've registered really well. So yeah, these look like they're going to go on very well. All right, so that's what's in the box. So I'm going to clear off the bench, get some tools, some glue, some sanding sticks, and some paint, and we're going to get to the build. When you're gluing the two wheel halves together, rotate the parts until all of the grooves line up, and this way you should have a very small seam line. To take care of the seam lines on the wheels and tires, I just used some coarse sanding sticks and knocked down all the high spots. I then go back with a finer and finer stick until I'm happy with the results. Here I'm using a thin metal file to sand down the lines in between the tire treads. For the seam on the body, there's plenty of material here to just sand it down without using any filler. After I sanded them down to where I liked it, I used some finer and finer grit sandpaper until finally I polished the finish, and it came out really good. Now, everything gets a nice coat of metal-colored primer. For the main body color, I'm starting off with a base coat of bright silver. Later, I'll follow this up with a transparent color over the top of it that'll make it look really nice. For the wheels, I painted them in a steel color, and now I'm going back and painting the tire area with Tamiya's Rubber Black XF85. Here I'm adding some Tamiya's black Panaline accent color to bring out some highlights in the engine block. There's not a lot of detail on this, but it still looks pretty good. I want this race car to have a wooden steering wheel, so I'm using some orange to start the process of making this look like wood. For the next stage of the process, I'm adding some black Panaline wash to darken everything up. Now for the top coat, I'm spraying some clear blue Tamiya X23 over the bright silver. This is going to look really nice. This is not something you have to do. I just like drilling out my exhaust pipe so it has a hole. There's not a whole lot of detail here to work with, but I think it came out looking okay. The next step for the wood steering wheel is I'm adding some gray panel line wash. I'll then clean this up with some turpentine, and in the end it should resemble a wooden steering wheel. And I think it came out okay. To highlight the leather area around the driver, I'm dry brushing on some light tan. To add a little detail to the driver's clothing, I'm using some gray panel line wash to darken everything up, and then I'll clean that up with some turpentine. And here we have it, friends, the completed 120 scale midget race car from Atlantis. Once again, I want to thank my friends over at Atlantis for sending this in to the channel for review. Now, I must say, I was really impressed with this re-release of a very old classic model kit. This kit was originally released back in 1954. I don't know if they have made any improvements to the kit or the mold over the years, but this kit went together really well. I included this mock-up picture because I really wanted to show you how well everything fits together. In this picture, the only parts that are glued together are the driver, the engine, the wheels, and the two halves of the body. Everything else is just held in place by friction. I found that pretty impressive for an old kit like this. There is some cleanup needed on the parts, but I was surprised at how little was actually needed. The body halves fit together well, and again, with a little cleanup, the seam lines can be easily sanded, filled, and buffed out. The two-piece wheels and tires do go together well, and with some sanding you can get rid of the seam line and they turn out really well. As for the rest of the kit, everything went together really well. The instructions were minimalistic but sufficient. I feel that the only really challenging part of the entire kit was getting the windshield installed. Now the kit comes with a square piece of clear plastic and a template to cut out the proper shape. They give you enough to make two just in case. Also, there is a thin removable film on both sides of the clear plastic to keep it from getting scratched up. You'll need to remove that film before you install the windshield. The real challenging part is when you're trying to get the piece of plastic in the dash area where it belongs. It just wants to keep popping out. Mine took some patience and I wasn't able to get it on video, but eventually I was able to get it into place. Now, if you wanted to, you could just leave it out altogether. Most people wouldn't even notice it was missing unless you pointed it out. The decals also went on really well. However, one thing I noticed was that these decals release from the backing very quickly. I used some warm tap water and I only needed to soak them about 10 to 15 seconds before resting them on a paper towel until I was ready to apply them to the model. They also include extra decals so you can customize your version of this kit. I really like how this kit came out and I'm really glad that Atlantis sent it in for review. Now, this would be a great first-time glue-together kit for a young model builder. It's also a great kit for an advanced model builder who might want to super detail or modify it. I find that kits like these are great for getting longtime model builders out of that slump we sometimes find ourselves getting into. It's not difficult and just right for a relaxing, enjoyable build. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed this build and review video, and if so, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in picking up one of these, or if you've built one of the previous release versions of this kit. Links to purchase the kit are in the description below. And if you haven't already, please be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when I upload new content. And be sure to check out all of the other links in the description and also my store for some really cool scale model themed gear. So, until next time, friends, have a great day, be safe out there, and go build something.